and we should be live in 2 seconds. Awesome. Let me see here, trying to look up the chat here real quick. Let me see here real quick, trying to get at the chat opening, guys. Yeah, I think I have it here ready. Guys, welcome. Thank you for being here with us on another Monday here with Operation 11 Charlie. Today, another special Monday with some special guests. We are very grateful to have the guys, Chris and the boys from Team Garage Hack, RC Concept, brother. Welcome in, guys.
Thank you. How's it going?
Awesome, guys. And man, we got Sergeant Major in the house, Jeremy Kilman, brother. How you doing, man?
Doing great.
Good.
Hope everybody's having a great week so far.
Definitely. And then we got Josh, one of our veterans out there from way up north out there.
It's not that far, but I mean, Canada's stone throw. What's up, everybody?
Good stuff. Good to see you, Josh, brother. Everybody in the chat, I see everybody. Thank you for being here. Oh my God, I like this. Steve O.D. from the 313. Thank you for being here. That's Steve-O's mom right there, man. Thank you, man. Welcome. Looking forward to see you guys next year at USD. That's awesome. Robert, TT4C Rob, welcome guys. Chris, Jeff, everybody. Jeffrey Wood.
Shout out to Brazen.
Yep. Gary, Robert, welcome guys. Thank you for being here with us. RC Patina, Eric, welcome guys. Really appreciate you guys. We just waiting a couple of more seconds and so we could go with our special guest here in a minute, guys. Let me see we have a couple of stuff that I want to go over before we go with our special guest, guys. So it's going to take us a few minutes in this. Huge shout out to everybody, all our sponsors. Eventually, sometime next year, starting next year, that's next month, we will start mentioning back again our sponsors, all that stuff, guys. So just be patient with us. Tread Crawler RC, welcome, guys. Thank you for being here. So to all our sponsors, all our supporters, thank you so much. We really appreciate you guys. And right now we are on the road to USDE. Looking forward for that event. Our plans are, if everything permits, it goes well, we're trying to get around 30 veterans to that location, right? We already start with our sponsors, all that stuff. There's a bunch of sponsors jump in, and we are very grateful of them. They already sponsoring veterans, right? So I think we have, of those 30, we have 6 veterans already sponsored. So I just want to say thank you so much, guys. All the people that jump in, and I think we have a 2 months, 2.5 months, something like that. No. Jeremy, come on. Let's stretch it out. So I know less than 2 months, right? So like a month and a half.
50-ish.
50-ish. Okay. So
how many hours left?
Oh Lord. So anyway, I all those people that jump in and reach out to, and that we reach out to them to sponsor all those veterans. We're working towards that list, trying to get those 30 veteran sponsor. We are very grateful, guys. So thank you so much for that. Let me see here. What else? Oh, we have a raffle that we are going to start today, right? Huge shout out to Adams Playground. Always one of our sponsors and big supporters. We cannot thank you guys enough for that. And I'm trying to find out the picture real quick here so I could show it to you guys. Just give me a second here. Let me see here how we going to start this. We're going to be posting that soon, probably next day or so, but it's going to be is 45 spots, guys. 45 spots, $7 a spot, right? And everything that we do here is for all our warriors and take veterans for what we're doing to this event. What we're doing now. This one is going to be USDE next year. So let me know if you guys can see this right here. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
It's a brand new on the box, guys. Centum 4x4 is a brush edition, 550 mega RTR. Shout out to Adams Playground, man. We cannot thank you guys enough, guys, for this. So it is it's gonna be $7 a spot for, there's gonna be 45 spots, guys. 45 spots right there for us. And we will open this right now. Right now, we're gonna open this, and hopefully we can close it by next Monday, right? Or not until we close this 45 spots, guys. We will have the link on our social media as well. But over here in the chat, if you guys go to our website, you guys can go and hit up. You can buy some spots there. Make sure when you go or whatever you decide, PayPal there, we got some other options. I think that we open more in our website. Just make sure to put that is for this raffle, guys, for the Arm and Centum. So make sure that is that you say that is for this raffle, guys. So thank you so much, Adams Playground, for the immense support. We really appreciate you on that. So that we open that right now. So, thank you so much.
Where are they going to get that from, Javier? How do they?
So the winner. So when we fill all those spots, like we,
How are you filling the spots? I guess is what I'm asking.
so so they will, when we post that in social media, we're gonna be adding the names like we always do on our post. We will add into the names and the numbers and as they come in order, right? 1, 2, 3, all the way to 45. And then when we close that, we will do a live drawing. If we close it by next Monday, for example, we will do. I know Jake hasn't done this in a minute for that wheel. Welcome in, Jake, brother.
I was gonna say I might be rusty.
So we will do a live drawing of that. So put all the names on the wheel, and then whoever that names comes out, that's how we're gonna get the winner. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. I think we're already receiving some PayPal, brother. That's what I'm saying. Awesome, guys. Thank you. We already receiving some spots here. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank you so much, guys. This means a lot to us here in Operation 11 Charlie. And stay tuned, because if we close this, it's going to be drawn next Monday. Next Monday we'll be drawing this. It gets closed before that Monday.
Get in there, support the cause.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. I see there. Well, we got Nick Barber in the house. Welcome in, brother. Thank you for being here, bro. Thank you so much, man. Talking about Adams. Thank you so much, bro, for that donation and for that raffle prize that we have sent in 4x4, the mega 550 mega brush edition. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you, guys. Really appreciate you guys. So let me see here, guys. So this weekend we went out. Huge shout out to Dr. Dance here. There's one of our local hobby shop that has a crawling part in that hobby shop out there. Always big supporter of what we do and our guys. So we had an outing, special private outing with our guys. So huge shout out to Dan and the boys there, Jay, and all the boys out there from Titusville, that Dr. Dan's hobby shop. So thank you so much, guys. Other than that, I think that's it. Anything else that we need to mention, Jeremy? You don't think anything else, right, Josh?
Yeah.
But we should be good then. So I think that's it, guys. So again, we're gonna go with our special guest, Chris and the boys, Team Garage Hack RC Concept. Again, thank you guys for the immense support that you guys have given us through the years. It's been what? This is your third year that you guys have done this for us, and we are very grateful, man. It means a lot to us and to our cause, what we're trying to do here in Operation 11 Charlie, and the plans that we have for the future, and starting next year. So thank you so much, guys, for being here.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. It's important to us. We personally never served. Got a lot of family that did. That speaks for everybody sitting here. I'm sure a lot of people that haven't served can relate to that. We know the challenges, or at least we think we know the challenges that they deal with, to the extent that they are willing to share. Which is a challenge in itself. That being said, this Operation 11 Charlie is one of a kind, and the men and women that sacrifice not only their lives, their home life, their family life, their mentality, I have to imagine in some cases even their morals, right, to carry out their duties. That allows us to sit here and do exactly what we're doing right now. And I don't mean Operation 11 Charlie. I mean RC Trucks is what's brought this group together as a whole, right? Not to say that it's not like we're the only country that can do that, but we're they just make it possible for us to enjoy everything the way we enjoy it, and that's got to be appreciated and respected. And then I know it's only a drop in the hat, but it's the least, it's what we can do to pay it forward and pay it back, right? Show your appreciation. I love when I sit down to dinner with my daughter in a restaurant and I see the old man across the way with his hat on, and I tell him thank you for his service, and I'm not quiet about it. You can tell they appreciate those little things, this standing up in a restaurant for the national anthem when it comes across the TV, right? When there's vets in the room, it because you've just got their attention. That's the little things you can do. So pay that forward.
And those simple stuff, Chris, we appreciate that very much, and our guys, so it means a lot to us, brother. It means a lot to us. And
so let me this is Jake Keppert.
Go ahead, brother.
Jake's TGH family. He's been a local patron of ours since the beginning of the clubhouse, and he's certainly grown into family. Jake is here to represent our drivers that were at Crawlapalooza, and we'll get into that whenever you're ready. But no rush on our part, to speak of. But anyway, Jake Keppert, him and some team drivers went out of town and did a raffle at an event, and thinking of you guys. And then of course our homely Mikey, right? Everybody knows Mikey.
Hard to forget, I guess.
And I'm Chris, and Bryce isn't here tonight. He's with us in spirits. He's feeling a little under the weather, and
He might be on Facebook.
yeah, he might be watching on YouTube or Facebook or something. But nonetheless, Bryce isn't with us tonight. Sam's at home managing Lucy, and Christina's probably behind the counter taking notes in case we promise something. At least it's documented by somebody more responsible than us. So.
It's awesome, brother. Guys, again, thank you for being here. Chris, if you want to go by Bracing Scale RC, welcome, guys. Thank you for being here with us. If we can go how Team Garage Hack started, so the people that know you guys, how everything is started until what it is now.
Sure. So back in early 2018, Bryce and I went to nationals in Tennessee. That was the year of the flood, if you will. A lot of people use that as an excuse, but everybody drove the same courses eventually. And I use the word eventually pretty heavy. But at that time, there was really, with the exception of over under and your 10-1 axles, the overdrive and the AR-44 wasn't developed yet. You had the Lux had a 12% transmission. And so prior to going to nationals that year, we tried everything under the sun to get some overdrive directly from a transmission transfer case. And we got close. I mean, we tried all the tricks and we weren't happy with them. Like the closest we got was taking an RC 4-wheel drive transfer case and flipping the inputs and outputs, flipping the transfer case And there's a fundamental problem with that, which we can get into later. That's a Tech Tuesday talk, but there's a fundamental problem with driving your outputs with a large driven gear or drive gear rather, and it just loads things up. But so we go to nationals and we enjoyed our trip. We enjoyed that. We get back and Bryce and I are sitting on the couch and he's like, somebody needs to develop a transmission that's got some functional overdrive, something that makes a difference. And at that time, I had just started making friends, not as TGH, but just making friends in the hobby. John Holmes, AJ was super shafty, Avid Racing, David Jor, and I'm like, yeah, I'll reach out to them. And this was Wednesday, and this is certainly the politically correct version, but this was a Wednesday, and about a brewski later on the couch, I'm like, dude, I do gears for a living. That's what I do. Like, why don't we do that? And we didn't know anything about 3D printing or anything like that. I mean, I just knew gears. I'm a mechanic by trade, a tech by trade. That Friday, we had a prototype in his truck. Used a Harbor Freight drill press, made some shafts, set some 5mm bore pinions on it, and made some plates. And he went in like it was cheating. And I don't mean like, top of the list by a few points. I mean, it looked like he drove half as many courses as everybody else that Friday. And so right then we knew we had something that potentially worked. And Bryce and I and my better three-quarter Sam and Mikey got together. We gave ourselves a $300 budget. We bought a 3D printer.
And it all was downhill from there.
Yeah, and it's all been a rabbit hole from there, man. But we were thinking, the locals were catching on, and some of the guys that maybe were seeing some social media. The scale sector really wasn't exploded as much as it is now, right? We got lucky. We got in right at the explosion as far as social media and that stuff is concerned.
Yeah.
And we said, well, if we can do 5 of these a month or something, we can buy T-shirts and stickers for the community, paper potlucks at the crawl space, things like that, right? And that was really the intent. Well, it wasn't 2 months later, and we were 6 months behind on orders, and that just forced us to take it to the next step. And we just sent it, and we've got a fairly strong moral compass. We don't. There's just a lot of things about TGH that a lot of people don't see, and that's how you treat other people, how you help people.
Yes.
We've had some run-ins with certain individuals, and it's like that's private information. We're not going to take any of that public. We're not going to fight that. We're gonna stand. We're gonna keep chugging forward, and we'll let people make their own decisions based off. It's kind of like work ethic, right? Which a lot of people are lacking these days. But I don't go to work and worry about what other people think of me. All I worry about is what my boss and his boss thinks. And as long as I'm meeting that quota, that's all that matters. And so that's how TGH operates, right? We're gonna do us. We're not gonna play into anything, and we're gonna stay positive. And our focus, like Bryce says it best, it's about the tiny truck community.
Yes.
Mom to Bryce, and it's about growing the community. And to this day, I think every penny we've made has gone back into the community, literally. I mean, aside from the perks, right? I mean, obviously there's perks. We got a clubhouse to play in now. We've got a warehouse with inventory. We don't necessarily buy parts. I mean, we pay taxes on the parts we buy because that's our profit, I guess. But so it's got its perks, but I mean, that's us, right? We're give the community an option, give them support, try to help people remember everybody started somewhere.
Yes.
And kind of curb that whole, what do they call it, self-righteousness.
Yes.
Right. It's tough sometimes, but
You make a lot of your own hurdles.
yeah, we make a lot of our own hurdles. That's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah. I can't tell you how many times we talked about doing that last year, and then we finally get around to doing it, and life is like mainstream for a little while until the next hurdle shows up, and we get so mad at ourselves, like, why didn't we do that a year ago? Like, an email account? Who would have thought? Yeah.
Only 6 more things to do.
Yeah. So that's us in a nutshell, man. We're just in our core group is, with the exception of a couple people, we're all local to we're all you know, we give a lot of credit to the crawl space here in Denver. A lot of credit. You know, I wouldn't know. I would only know Bryce, right? Bryce and I were neighbors across the street. And, I wouldn't know Mike. I wouldn't know Jake. I wouldn't know Keith, our shop man, who now runs the clubhouse shop for us full time. I wouldn't know any of these people. I wouldn't know you guys, right? If it weren't for Tiny Trucks. And
Yeah.
and the crawl space is ultimately responsible for that, right? I mean, that establishment really kind of drilled into us the comp side of things, helped us understand, drive hard, play hard. And we just take it a step further, right? We take everything a step further. Hence a $10,000 winch mascot, right? Just because people were getting excited about winch sticks and land anchors, it's like, okay, call it the Nuggets and be like, yo, you know, call it the Rockies. Who made Dinger? Who made Rocky, right? And we end up with the establishment that made Tony the Tiger, and it's like, do it, you know. And they're like, this is the most ridiculous thing we've ever heard. And we're like, that's the point, you know. That's the point. You got to keep it light, you know. So
Definitely.
that's it in a nutshell.
Definitely well said, brother. And we are very grateful of you guys, man, that especially the same stuff that you guys are doing. That's why we're here in Operation 11 Charlie. Just keep forward for the positive things. You know, even our Operation 11 Charlie is running through those hurdles, all that stuff that you said, but we keep pushing forward, right? We keep pushing forward. Keep doing our better, and that's all that matters. Yeah, like nobody is above the cost, you know.
That's right.
That's
right.
why
Yeah, we're a firm believer in, you know, in our early days, we had, you know, obviously Deluxe was the only game and for an aftermarket trans. Well, Classic Cup Customs had one, but it was just direct drive, right? There was no overdrive to it, and in our early days, and now the market's saturated, and it's like, you know, we've got to kind of stand behind what we preach, and there's room for everybody, right?
Yeah.
We're not gonna. I mean, we've reached out to some of these companies and be like, yo, you're missing the mark, and here's why. And you educate them, right? You make them, you share that knowledge, right? And it's not, I mean, you only know what you think you know, you know, and what you don't know, but you think you know, you know, and there's a reason why our ratios work so well, and it's yet to be duplicated. I mean, there's a reason the tooth counts are what they are, and there's no straying from that. You stray from that, and you don't get the same results, whether it be from moments on the forces on the chassis for torque load or startup, wheel speed, et cetera, right? It's all for a reason. I mean, I worked with a bunch of very, very smart people, and they helped me, you know, identify why we got so lucky with the gear ratios that we got. Let's be honest, right? Because when I designed the original Creeper transmission, we've got our old school. We've got like our up here in the glass case. We've got our evolution, if you will, right? And so that's what I'm looking up at. But you know, when I drew that, it was really a matter of what tooth counts put the shafts where they need to be, and then you know, a lot of help from John Holmes. That man sat down and gave me an education on electronics and motors that a lot of people spent a decade in the hobby trying to understand, right?
Yes.
And that's why we work with Holmes so tight, right? We're really loyal to that. But back to the whole, there's room for everybody. There's no need to belittle people and degrade companies and bash them, and you know, we're just gonna let things ride and let the podium speak, I guess.
Awesome, brother. So real quick, guys, everybody, I see Steve Gray said, love you guys. Sorry I could not make it tonight. Jason,
he's one of the guys that went to Crawlapalooza with Jake and worked that out. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Awesome. Guys, here in the chat and the panel, any questions that you have for Chris and the boys, feel free to jump in. You guys in the chat, when you post your question, if we don't get to your question, keep posting them, guys. We'll get to them eventually. So Jeremy, I know you were there. What?
Be nice, Jeremy.
So yeah, it was, you know, just out of convenience and sheer luck, I ended up in their neck of the woods. Drop by. Actually, I planned it all out and I knew when to show up. So yeah, they greeted me open arms, full tour, got to drive some sick lines in their comp night, and got to drive one of the most famous rigs I think out there in the crawling world. So that was quite an honor. But I will be back, and I will bring some of my junk to drive, and see if it'll do half what that other truck will do. Yeah, but these guys they're insanely, like, just perfect hosts, down to earth, easy to talk to. You know, I've been doing RC stuff for, you know, the better part of my life, and, you know, I fell right in with these guys. You know, just super easy, great hosts. If you're in that area, if you're not in that area, drive to that area. It is fantastic.
Stop by. Yeah.
Thanks for the kind words. It was funny. I didn't know that. I don't know if you remember, Jeremy, the night that I walked up to you and I'm like, hey, I don't recognize you. You're never seen you here before. And like, I'm Chris Schumann with TGH, and he's like, I'm Jeremy Kilborn. And I went to turn around and I was like, oh, wait. Say that again. I'm like, hell yeah. You know, I was pumped. Most people give us a heads up, you know, but so we can make sure that the shop is open, and that's let them know what's going on, when it's going on. But
Because it's still a clubhouse sometimes.
yeah, like next Saturday. Well, I'm not going to say it on YouTube, but you know, sometimes we'll lock the doors and turn the sign off and close the shop, and it's team's clubhouse. You know, all of our drivers have a key. These are people, you know, that we trust with our house, for example, and we treat everybody that comes in here that way. We're more optimistic than not. Yeah. You know, we gotta, and I do this to a fault, probably. Because it's been costly sometimes, but you get one chance, right? Like, I don't need to meet you in person. You know, how you carry yourself online, how how I could give two squats, what you look like, how you smell, what you dress, whatever the case might be, right? I mean, I work in underground. Well, I clock in an underground mine, but I come home stinky sometimes, and I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean, that's not how you judge a character, right? You judge character by, you know, who is this person when nobody's looking? Who is this person when they get backed into a corner? And how do they conduct and carry themselves? And we give everybody the benefit of the doubt. And it's been us a few times, it's been costly and expensive and made more work for us, but oh well, right? Like, we're not, what we don't believe in is one bad apple spoils the bushel. That's for sure. You know, I've always said I'll burn this place to the ground before somebody has to sacrifice or give something up to keep it standing. You know, it's all $2 million worth of inventory to be melted into a pot.
Yeah.
And that'd be that. You know, it's for the community, the clubhouse for the community, TGH is for the community, the people we associate are for the community, and I mean, we've traveled to meet people that we associate with just to make sure. I mean, look at Brett with Brazen, right? He didn't know it at the time, but the best way to get to know somebody is to travel. So our first interaction, Brett roomed with us in California at a cash comp. He's like, I don't know if I'm going. And I'm like, well, if you go, I got a place for you to stay, you know? And we are, you know, you get a feeling for somebody. You watch them carry themselves. You talk with them, you chat with them, you start to build a relationship, virtually, if you will. And it's like, heck yeah, Brett's awesome. Heck yeah, you got 12 guys staying in a 4,000 square foot house, and it's like, hey, we got 2 extra rooms. Anybody got any issues with Brazen Scale coming to the house? Nope. Because they want to meet them too. I mean, you look at G Speed, Gabe. Gabe and I started, very small together about the same time with G Speed, and we complemented each other and worked with each other. And then we had the opportunity to meet in 2019. He had the opportunity to come stay with us at when we travel, we just call it, the TGH headquarters or whatever, or the compound, or, because we accommodate all of our team drivers in the same building.
It's a circus.
It's a circus for sure. But it's easier to manage that, right? I mean, It's just easier that way, right? Like, you know, if they want to go somewhere else, they're welcome to. But we had the opportunity to meet Gabe in 2019, and we hit it off just right. I had the opportunity, Matt Ottman. Listen to this story. Oh my God. So Matt Ottman, we're in New Mexico for nationals. Right? Mexico.
PG, yes.
Yeah. Gabe's there. You know, Gabe and Matt are pretty tight. You know, we've been tinkering with Matt since 2018 or whatever, and Ottman's like, I'm on my way. Shows up in a pit. This is the kind of circus we're talking about. We ran a place on a dead end street at the end of the street in the rural area. That way, it's 10 o'clock at night and we're bonfiring. We're not disturbing anyone. Matt Ottman shows up. Not 30 seconds after he shows up, somebody comes flying around the backyard by the pond and they're like, the cops are here. And I'm like, dude, what? Like, yeah, Matt Ottman, bat crazy, dude, down this, like, past the neighbors, dirt road, dusts them out, you know, and yeah, circus. And it's like, it was harmless, right? We're on a dirt county road. It was harmless, but that's the kind of circus, right? We go to these places and we bring these people together for a reason, you know? And it's just that I am solid based off my experiences that if we could all just work together,
Yes.
this sector of the hobby is niche oriented and as small as it is, it may seem big to the new guy, but somebody that's like myself that, and this is me, you know, feel free to call me out if I'm giving myself too much credit here, but as somebody that helps drive this sector of the hobby, right, helps bring people together, helps facilitate supporting big box brands and being respectful and things like that. I've seen it. You get people to work together and man, you know, their networking resources, our networking resources, and then they're, you know, it's phenomenal what you can accomplish whenever you work together. It's just crazy, you know. With that being said, look at Vader. You know, here's a good example of how TGH conducts themselves. We've got a skid that I designed for a chassis that's coming up with the new rule set, right? Well, I get the samples for this skid and it looks really close to a monkey narrow, like uncomfortably close. I was uncomfortable. I'm like, whoa, like they didn't look that close in the drawing, you know, and it can be deceiving on the computer, you know. And Mikey's like, what are we going to do with these 300 skids we got? And I'm like, squadoosh, we're doing nothing with them until I get a chance to talk to Vader. You know, I want to know, you know, I want to make sure Vader gets credit where credit's due. You know, I mean, he didn't design it. I designed it from scratch, but whenever it showed up, it was really close. And so you call Vader and you're like, hey, this is what we got going on. How do you feel about it? You know, we want to make sure credit's due. You want to name it, put the Vader brand on it, or you want us to name it, pay you royalties? Like what do you want? You know, and we did that. We reached out to them. You know what I mean? And that's the hobby needs a lot of that, right? The hobby needs a lot of that.
Yes.
You know?
And that's well said. Just working together, us, you know, including you guys, all of us, keep doing the positive thing, keep pushing forward, helping everybody out, and hopefully the outside community grabs to that and keep pushing forward, everybody, so we can, you know, we could do this, man. That's all I can say. Being positive, we can work together and you know, work as a team, and like, you know, we do in the military, right? I trust Jeremy with my life, the same Josh, all of my guys, Sean and Jake, everybody at the same way, and we just, you know, keep doing the right thing. That's well said, brother. There.
And Brazen just said that the hobby has a ton of that, what I just explained, that goes on behind the scenes that no one sees. And it's kind of funny. And again, we're young in the whole spectrum of things. If you really consider, I mean, I've been growing since the AX10, but I was too poor for 56K dial-up, so I didn't know RC crawler existed. Right, I had kids. And I mean, I'm back in the day when Hobbytown had a rock pile on the north side of the house, right? And Murdoch's is now in. And you get bored, right? It's like bashing. You know, you bash, you go out there and you stand on top of pitcher's mound and you watch your stuff go around in circles until it breaks, and then you're like,
That's cool.
that was cool. That was boring now, you know. And so
Got 4 hours worth of work to do.
yeah,
Let's go.
and so yeah, Brett with Brazen's right. A lot of this stuff happens behind the scenes. You got you see, to put it in perspective, the clubhouse, I guarantee without a doubt, has the largest variety of small manufacturers than any other hobby shop in the country. Now, we don't have a lot of it on the wall because the clubhouse is like still trying to learn to support itself, right? And that's a lot of me and Mikey's fault. You'll see in a little while, we have a hard time not giving stuff away. But you got Brazen, you got Corrupt, you got G-Speed, you got Exo, you got, I mean, I bet I could go in the back room, beef tubes, I could pull a crawl space chassis out of the back room, right? Super Shaft, I mean, it doesn't matter to us. Deluxe, you got Deluxe on the wall, right? And it's got to be that way. It's just got to be that way. And we're not interested in doing business with somebody that can understand the diversity and the need for it to be that way.
Yeah.
You know, that's TGH, man. That's the way we are.
Brother, I ran into your, when is it, Tuesday or Wednesday when you do that tech class? Tuesday, right?
Yeah, that was my very first one.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. I love it, bro. It's so, you go detail by detail. It's just, I thought I was back in school, man. I said, what the heck? I love it. I love it. Very specific. I love it, bro. I enjoy
I
it.
appreciate that, because I was like, I got done with that. And I'm terrible about maintaining a timeline, guys, by the way. So when it's time to cut it, you just got to be like, Chris, stop, right?
Yeah.
Somebody text Mikey and tell him to poke me or something. But because I get into it, dude, I geek out hard, right? I'm a technical instructor by trade. I teach people how to be safe and fix things and stuff like that. And when I went to trade school, I immediately learned that I didn't know anything, not near what I thought I knew. And I immediately learned that I could learn so much. Like, oh my gosh, I'm totally capable of learning anything I want, right? Well, as that evolved, I was like, don't just tell me a spark plug sparks, right? I want to know why. I want to know why the ohms on the coil matter. I want to know, why we're frying points, or why the dwell needs to be what it is. I want to know why we're using a scope to time and tune and map injectors. Like, I want to know why. Don't just tell me this is how you do it. I need to understand. And that's where I come from on Tech Tuesday, right? And that's just it. We're a chassis manufacturer. I say that lightly because the Holmes Hobbies chassis was never supposed to go to the market. It was never supposed to go. I hit Holmes hit me up, and we get to shooting this, the crap on the topic, and I'm like, I'm looking at his logo and I'm like, that would be a cool shot coupe, and at the time I had just bought a CNC, or I guess I say TGH, same. We just bought a CNC router, right? And it was actually bought to cut Delrin cases, and too far behind, too fast. That's right. But anyway, at any rate, I'm like, I start playing around with the Holmes logo, and I send it to John, and he's like, dude, I want some of those for my team drivers. He's like, we don't need to go to market. And I'm like, yeah, I really don't have any interest in it. We're sporting G-Speed and Brazen and all these guys, and man, some pictures started getting out there, and people are like, that is art, and that's one of the reasons we don't push it super hard, is because there are people out there that's their niche. That's what they do. Let them do them, right? We could have offered those chassis at some astronomical, amazing price, but it would have upset the market. Well, that wasn't our goal, right? So let's just make it more expensive than the other ones, right? To minimize, 300, 500 chassis maybe to date is all we're at best, and we probably still got 50 upstairs.
Well, most of them might be on.
Yeah, you know, you got 20 team drivers, right? I mean, there's 80 rails right there, right? Or whatever by the time you get through all the classes. But you know, it's just not our push, you know, it's there because I can't leave anything alone. Which I think we all probably suffer from, but
You don't say.
yeah, it's like you said, I think you've said it a half a dozen times. It's about being positive, and it's about, you know, sharing the knowledge. Like that's what Tech Tuesday was all about. We're going to do live. I'll be on Tech Tuesday for the clubhouse, and we're going to switch up the stream. We got some feedback, right? Our first live stream. I'm going to go ahead and throw this plug out there, Javier, if I can.
Yes, go ahead, brother. Sure.
So, without unforeseen circumstances that may arise, the first Tuesday of the month is when the mechanic's going to do Tech Tuesday, and I'm going to cover in detail as best I can within the allotted time. Some more of the technical side of things, like I did with the link geometry, right? And I'll preface it with things like I did in the link geometry that, hey, listen, this is a scale truck. Although the theory applies or the concept applies, the functionality may not be the same, right? Like you can't put 30% in your 79 Ford and drive down the highway in four-wheel drive. I don't care if there's snow or not. All right. You know, there's a reason why Ford only did 2%, right? And back in the day to try to help the lurchin, right? Which is really where our inspiration came from. But so yeah, so we're gonna, you know, I'm gonna do things like I'm gonna try to give John Holmes do justice with my understanding of motors based off what he's taught me. And not that everybody needs to understand a motor so they could go out and spec one, but so that they can understand a motor for their builds, right? And we might even, that's a good idea actually. A Tech Tuesday on specking a truck, right? When you go buy a Class 8 tractor trailer, if you're going to buy it new, you go to Mack, you go to Kenworth, you go to Peterbilt, and you spec a truck specific for a purpose. You don't chase parts, right? You know, and that's one thing we don't do here. We will not just sell you parts. If you come in and you're like, I want it too low and $175 Holmes Fuller 400, the first thing out of my mouth is why, right? Like actually, the first thing out of my mouth is what kind of battery are you running, right? Because if they're running a 2,500, 1,500 milliamp battery, I'm like, that's not what you want. You don't want a $175 motor. You're going to be back in here next week after you get off the mountain, mad at me, you know, because you smoked your electronics, you know. So pushing that's all that positive stuff, right?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of guys, they'll start building a truck around a concept or a singular part, and pay no attention to the motor that they're using, the speed control, the battery, and they just basically burn up money literally sometimes, and there's no value in it. So
that's right.
When people say, hey, you know, I want to buy this, like, what are you going to do with it?
Yeah, what's your goal is what we say.
Yeah, what do you expect out of it? And then we'll, you know, build the truck around that.
Exactly. Yeah, we one thing we say in here is brain farts. What's the one thing we say in here?
What are you trying to do with the truck, right? Where are you going? What are you doing?
Yep.
What's your goals here? What's it not doing if you already have a truck, right?
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. So there's two things. We don't want somebody when your $1,000 toy don't do what you tell it to do. And I can't use the rest of that analogy on YouTube live stream, but you get the picture, right? The truck driver shows up at the truck stop and his truck don't do what he tells it to do. You get the idea, right? You get mad at your $1,000 toy. We can't have that here, right? You can't have that. So when your $1,000 toy, we want that. And then we don't want people to end up spending $3,000 for a $1,500 rig, right? I would rather sell them two $1,500 rigs, quite frankly, right? Because I want to drive against them both, you know, or drive them. And so, yeah, it's exactly what you said, Jeremy. They chase these parts, or they build around a one post they saw right? Not looking at it. And we see it, right? The guys that are technical builders, I'm sure most of your group, you look at Brett, you look at, some of the Suzuki guys that are really, really sharp, really technical builders, Scott Manis, Nabil, Wyatt, right? Like all these guys are really, they just get the whole concept and how everything matters collectively as a whole, We've always said, can't see it, but we've always said millimeters matter and grams matter, and then we get made fun of, but it's like 3 grams here, 4 grams there, a couple millimeters here, a couple millimeters there, before you know it, you're, to jump to the imperial side, you're a ½ inch taller than you should be, and you weigh 2 ounces more than you should, and it's like, it matters. It just matters, that the too low ain't going to do what it's supposed to do. If everything else is, if your link geometry isn't right, for example, if your drive line angles aren't good. So, yeah. And Brett's right. 1,500 is a base for most high-end comp builds. You can build everything but a body for $1,500. We just actually spec one out the other day for a guy, a new customer, come in with his trail rig and wants to get into the comp scene. And so I'm like, why do you want to get into the comp scene? And not that I don't mean that negatively. I want him to genuinely give me his thoughts. Why do you want to get into comp scene? Well, I'm competitive. I like to challenge. I like to compete. It's the camaraderie. It's the BS that you share. It's and I said, right up until it gets serious, and if you can't curb that, if you can't see that and put the brakes on, then you're going to spend all this money, but he didn't have an understanding of the rules. And this was literally 4 hours after they dropped the rule set, the second rule set, right? And I haven't even had a chance to review them. And so I pulled a laminated set off from last year, and I'm like, what do you know about it? He's like, well, tell me about scale points. I said, well, we call it the scale scheme, and he looks at me funny, and I'm like, well, as a new person, it's easy to see it that way, right? But if you look at the thought behind the rules, they're designed to hinder the truck, right? And the guy that shows up with 53 points on his class 2 rig doesn't see the concept, right? Like he's setting himself up for failure. So I explained the rules to this guy and plug in some comp rigs for him and let him have a heyday, him and his son. And his son's driving, and we take some time to explain the course rules as they were. And he's like, yep, like this is for me. This is a whole lot cheaper than my $60,000 worth of parts I got on my razor, and I said, yeah, dude. And you can you can throw it in the back of the truck. When you break an axle, it's $40. It's not $4,000.
Yeah, right.
There's a big difference, and so we, spec'd out a truck, bumper to bumper, everything but a body, and it was right at $1,500, and one of the things Hostile RC does here at the clubhouse is, kind of like what Operation Love Chart, like if unless things have changed and I just haven't got the memo, when you guys vet somebody and you take them out on the trail, you don't want them to be upset with their rig, right? They're already stressed as it is, right?
Yes.
Right? They're already battling demons. They're already, they're already feeling like their time is short, and so you take out spare parts, you take tools, right? All that stuff, right? Is that still the case?
Yes, sir.
Same concept, right? So Haas does that here. You can pay Haas to build your truck, and he can do it in about 4 hours, turnkey, right? Or you can pay Haas to do what we call a tutorial build, right? So you schedule your time with Haas. You spec your truck out, just like we talked about. What's your goals? Where are you running? Are you primarily crawling, right? And I'm challenging everybody that might be watching that hasn't done a custom build to really, the meat and potatoes of this part of the conversation is plan your build out. Think about it, ask questions, do research, make notes, start a spreadsheet, write it down, look at the costs, right? Understand why you're putting brass on your truck if you're putting brass on your truck. Understand why you're putting a roll bar in your truck, right? Understand these things because it will save you a lot of money and frustration in the long run. So Haas, although the price is twice as much, right? For $400, He will walk you through every single component assembly in your truck, all the way from a shock diaphragm, piston, C-clip or E-clip, piston holes, their function, spring rates, spring cups, preload, hollow balls, the difference between the different hollow balls, the difference between the different plastic, ring and pinions, right? Loctite, like all the things, like you have to cover the fundamentals, right? You can't assume people know the fundamentals. And that's what Haas does. You know, he comes in and opens the shop and he'll schedule time with a customer that wants to build their own truck but doesn't know where. And he'll explain to them why, when you're putting your ring and pinion on your spool, you need to make sure you got the right screws so that they seat fully before the head of the screw comes in contact with the bore of the ring gear, right? Because they'll break, they'll shear. You know, he explains all, you know, he educates them throughout that, right? And so that's kind of cool too. It's very similar to what you guys are doing. You're sharing the concept, the theory, you know, the resource. It's about knowing your resource.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And well said, brother. And that's what we're trying to do. You know, our guys never been in a hobby, right? We try to get a base, simple, the simplest RC out there that they can get, that is very capable, and eventually they could work, depends on where they want to go in the hobby, right? They can work towards getting to what you just been mentioning, right? To that level. So that's why we choose a base model that they can work up to whatever the expectation in the future.
And what is the current operational level base model?
So right now, the one that we're using is the base cam, XCX 10.3. A base cam because it's so simple, right? And
the base camp, is that portal still?
Yes.
That's still portals?
Still portals. If they can switch it, they have now straight axles. They can switch around, right? We replace electronics. We put 1080 Homes Hobby motors, all that stuff. Better servo, the reef on some other sponsors, you know, so they can, when they go out to the trails or crawling, just some decent, you know, stuff they can do, like you mentioned. They're not gonna, we don't have to worry about it's gonna break or whatever. It's still something mechanical, electronic that can happen, but it is
almost wanted to, so you can educate them.
Exactly.
Right? It's not the end of the world, right? It's like,
Exactly.
look, I got you, boo.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And that's what we're here for. When we do those stuff.
I mean, I've used sticks to make drive shafts. Like, you know, drive shafts break, you lose the centerpiece. It's like, hey, we're not done. Like we're gonna march on, but
yeah,
you know, stuff like that happens.
Yeah,
I have friends that videotape your truck burning down. So I don't know that, you know.
We're at the crawl space one night. Mike, he's doing one of his, what were those called? Those were outlaw runs, outlaw runs, where there would be the course inside. It's one big course, right? And it's a time thing. And he would use his entire property. So you would, you know, out the front door, around the property, through the gate markers and back, you know, and it's very TTC-ish, but, you know, urban. So, you know, not really, you know. But parking lot racing with your tiny truck, right? And then you come into the rocks and there'd be, you know, little obstacles and stuff. This cat, dude, just comes screaming out the front door, and everybody's like, "What's that smell?" And I catch it out the corner of my eye, and I see flames, and I go out there. Mikey's like, "Ah!" And he's right next to a puddle. What do? Instead of flipping it over into the puddle, I'm like, "Hold on!" Get the phone out, start taking videos.
Yeah, friends like that. Who needs friends?
That's awesome.
Hey, on that note, Javier,
Yes,
I would
sir.
like, I'd assume you had I have a spreadsheet with all your so give us a quick rundown so we're speaking educated here. You have I'm curious in the structure of Operation 11 Charlie.
Yep.
Right, from you know, the general to whatever it's called. And the reason, let me preface this with this: I would like to see a spreadsheet. I don't need much information. Those guys that are taking the people out, okay, they need a resource, and they've got one at TGH, and we will create a group on our website with an Op 11 Charlie specific discount code that you guys can use to support your venture, and then we don't have to worry about just once. I mean, we've done stuff throughout the year, but we don't. But the resource is there for you, right?
Yes.
You know, you tagged us as a sponsor. So let's act like one. Let's it's not just about monetary value, right?
Yes.
Each one of these guys can go in that are your, and that's why I want to learn. I don't even know what to call them, but your regional reps, right?
Yes.
And they can go in and create an account, and we'll attach the OP11 specific code to that account, and we'll make it very clear to you to share with your group what's available to them.
Yes.
And you can use that to help reduce your cost, which your base camps, like let's do that. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
But we don't have to, we're not going to solve that tonight, but I would like to, for us and our viewers, how's it organized? How's it structured?
Go ahead, Sergeant Major. You want to jump in?
So we have an administrative section that basically just takes care of making sure that people are vetted and who they are, and assigning the state reps as we will. We go by states at this point. Then the state reps, like myself and the other guys, like I'm from Maryland. Now Maryland crosses over into Pennsylvania. We have the whole Delmarva area, Jersey, and all that. So I cover a lot of territory. I have an assistant rep. He's non-veteran, but it's Matt Cocker, and he's fantastic. Like he's a well-versed promoter. He knows how to run events. So him and I work together, and we take veterans out on the trails. So if it's a new veteran to the organization, we do 3 runs.
I'll leave.
So
Three runs.
hold on a second. Gary Ronke just asked a question, what is vetted? And Gary, I think we're going to get to that right here.
Yeah, we'll
Gary's ready to explain that to you.
Yep, we'll get to vetted. And that's a part of the 3 runs for fun. So that's part of the vetting process. So one, we make sure that person is a legitimate person. They are who they say they are. They have already.
Meaning what, Jeremy? Meaning that they are a veteran.
They are veterans.
So they are that whether or not, are we talking to like all the way down to, are you dealing with something or not? That's hard to qualify, I would imagine.
So we qualify it through, do they have a VA card? Are they registered at a local VA? That tells us that they've sought out help and that they have the resources for help. We're not clinicians. We're not psychiatrists. We're not those people. We're just friends trying to get them back in touch with nature. So that's part of the vetting process. You have to be a veteran. You have to have a VA card registered with a VA, and you have to have a need or a want to do what we're doing.
Right. If you take a guy out on a couple of runs, for example, and he's like, "This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen,"
right?
Then why would your organization acquire a base camp for him,
exactly,
tools, etc.? Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So like the first run in for me, what I do is I introduce myself and Matt, because I never go alone. So, there may be 2 or 3 or 4 of us, and I always ask the veteran if that's a problem or not. Small groups, big groups, however they want it. But the second run, I'm a little more invasive into their background, and I learn about them. And then the third run is, do we want to do this together? Do we want to join forces and lean on each other, as it may be, to actually induct them into Operation 11 Charlie?
Now, are there expectations on their part?
There are.
On your inductees, is that the right word? Inductees?
Yes, inductees. Yes. So the inductees, if they do accept and they do want to be inducted, we do have some paperwork that they have to fill out and sign, and it's basically a morals and standards agreement.
Code of conduct.
Yeah,
code of conduct.
Something tells me they probably signed one of those before.
I bet you they have.
Oh yeah.
So our values are closely nested in all the military branch values. They're all very much the same. Loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, all that. It translates across all services. We just say it in different ways by branch. But we take that, we call it an induction. When we move through the ranks, you get to a certain point, and it's when you become an NCO. we actually induct people when they get promoted to sergeant. We induct them. It's an actual ceremony, military ceremony, and we call it an induction because they've ended a part of their career where they were the learner, and they've moved into the part of their career where they're the instructor leader.
Yeah.
And that induction shows that phase from the learner part into the beer part.
Yeah, but there's more to it than that though, right? I mean, that gives them something. They're part of something
Yes.
that they were bred from, if you will, right?
Yes.
Like this is by the people, for the people, of the people that were the people.
Yep.
That makes
Absolutely.
sense, right?
Absolutely.
Now, are they required to do that, or can they? I mean, are there members of Operation 11 Charlie, for lack of better knowledge or terms, that we go on our 3 trips, we spend some time together, we make an agreement, I sign some paperwork as a vet. I just want to enjoy this hobby that helps me switch my focus, right? I'm stressed out, I'm feeling depressed, my boys aren't answering, I'm busy, or they're, whatever, life throws a curveball. I just want to go plug in my truck and pound the rocks, right?
Yeah.
Is that acceptable from an operational level? I mean, do you
Absolutely.
help? Because that's the ultimate goal, right? Is to be there for them, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And we do that a lot. Here in Maryland, like we'll go on trail runs. We'll post up, hey, we're gonna go out for a fun run. There may or may not be an inductee with us, but it's a group of guys that we found each other because of this nonprofit and going to events to support the nonprofit. That's how I found it.
Mm-hmm.
I just went to support, and and I looked around, and I know a lot of these people, whether online or by name, and we grew up together or whatever it is. But it just became that association, that comfortability exists, and anybody can come out for a public run as long as it's posted as public.
Yes.
We do have people that don't want to be spectacles,
Yes.
for obvious reasons,
Mhm.
or they don't like large groups.
Yeah.
So we'll do private runs, but if they're okay with public, I'll have 7, 8 guys show up and just run tiny trucks.
Yeah.
Right. So it's really kind of revolving around their comfort level.
Yes.
Which hopefully Operation 11 Charlie helps get them back into that
Yes.
comfort
Yes.
level, if
Yes.
you will, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I can speak from an inductee standpoint, because I'm not a rep personally. I'm not a part of the admin side, and anytime that these guys are doing events or whatever near me and I show up, they're always asking. It's not like, you need to do this or you need to do that. It's, you want to help out? Do you want to do this? It's always that hand. And of course, me personally, I'm always there to if they need me, they know they can count on me. And it's not so much like an obligation as it is, hey, we're here to help you, and if you want to help us,
Yeah.
this is a brotherhood.
Right.
If your older brother needed a hand, you reach it out.
Yeah, you wouldn't even skip a beat.
And exactly like you said, I was had so much anxiety starting to go out to these events, and being with Operation 11 Charlie, a lot of that just falls away. With the community and the camaraderie, all of that just falls away when I'm with these guys.
So would you Josh, would you explain, in this, and I'm totally shooting from the hip here, buddy, would you say that there's a level of confidence that they've helped you with, in the sense that it's like we're not going to take you to an event full of people that would not benefit you? I mean, does it personally, like your personal feelings, does they help you cope with that, right?
Yeah. If there's been times when specifically for example, we were out in during the Axial Fest event. There was times where I was in some physical pain, and there were some times where I needed to take a break mentally. And, you know, they were there like, hey man, we can help you out. You know, you can go sit down over here. You know, it's away from everybody. If you need to take a breather, if you need to take a beat. And, you know, if I hadn't, you know, showed up yet, you know, they're on the hook, say, just making sure you're okay, brother. So there's a level of confidence that, you know, and any, you know, this for any veteran that, you know, is looking to this organization and whatnot, and this group of people, it's, yeah, we do RCs and these events and everything, but the main focus, the main priority is the veteran.
Yeah, support
It's
that.
it's our you know, it's our brothers. So
Yeah,
if a
when
few
they-
people need to
if you're running late-
take a minute to go, you know, and you know, calm you down or get your head right, or you know,
What's
if
going
you
on? How
need
can we
physical
help?
help, I mean, yeah, I can guarantee these guys, if somebody, you know, if my knee gave out in the trail, these guys wouldn't give me the choice. They'd probably fireman carry my butt out of there, you know.
Cool, cool.
Yeah,
I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, and it's like, it sounds to me like, and this is speculation again, right? Because I'm not a veteran, right? I wish I would have known it was a resource available to me in my early teens throughout my young adulthood. And I mean, whether or not I knew, it wasn't in front of me, right? I you know, but, you know, as an active member, like Javier said earlier, you know, I trust you with my life, and I get that to a degree, right? It's different. I don't have bullets flying over my head or through my shoulder or whatever the case might be, right? But from a mine rescue perspective, which I've done for 16 years now, I'm a mine rescue team captain, and a team trainer for 8 or 9 years now, right? And I'm talking about tying myself to a 25-foot tether and taking 4 other people that I trust with my life into a mine several thousand feet below the surface when you can't see the smoke in front of your hand, to go rescue people that we don't even know where they're at, right? And so you take that as an active member, you have that confidence that, you know, no Marine left behind, you know, and you leave that. I can only imagine what that would be like. I can't imagine what that would be like, right? That makes me right now feel so grateful for the people I have that surround the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Right. And, you know, my mine rescue team, it makes me grateful for that, because you go from that level of security and brotherhood to civilization, where the guy coming out of the grocery store don't give 2 squidooches about you. He don't even look both ways when he crosses the darn street. That's me trying not to cuss, Javier. I get a little fired up about that.
Did good.
You did good. I'm trying
You
to.
know, but for somebody that's fresh out of the service, right, where it's very regimented, structured, expected, right? You know, you could say entitlement in the civilization world. I could totally see as in this, and this is again speculation because I don't know, but in the service, I do feel entitled that this man is going to operate in a certain function and form, and therefore I can carry out my duty knowing that he or she is going to carry out theirs, right? And then you come to the civilization and you walk out of King Soopers, or you're driving through the parking lot. That's the real kicker. You're driving through the parking lot, and you're expecting that person to have some God-given decency and look both ways, like the majority of us, I'm sure, were taught, and they don't, right? And so, and I could just see how that would just make you crazy, right? And so it's the same concept as going to an event, right? Like, so yeah, good job, Operation 11 Charlie. You guys are pretty legit.
Thank you, brother. We are just a family, brother. It's just helping our guys find that purpose, right? Some of our guys, you know, we are blessed to have our families, our wives, our friends, our battle buddies, right? And some others, they don't have that they don't have that, right? They just, and that's what we're here for, right? We're working. I see some comments here on the chat. Operation 11 Charlie is working hard to be in every state. That's how we look ourselves 5-10 years from now, you know, having different chapters in different states. And
PGH supports that. You figure it out in
Yes.
Colorado and let you know, you tell that person to let us know what they need.
Definitely. Thank you, brother. And just us here is working, is helping one better at a time, right? And like Josh says, our veterans always first. Nobody's bigger than the cause. We care not just for the veteran, for their families. And some of our guys can tell you when they go to an event, they got the wives and kids, right? If I know that guy that's on our camp area, I could trust my family with them. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
why we go through what Sergeant Major was
And
saying.
your family supports your cause, right?
Exactly. And them
Just like our
understanding.
wives and kids support ours, right?
Exactly. They're understanding what we go through, right? The wife that get together, those our wife, they just take over our booth, right? They take over, they understand because they're here. They know what our guys are going through, what we go through.
Yeah.
And they're very supportive. Go ahead, Sergeant Major.
And my wife is a veteran. She's a retired Army major. So she's always in charge. But like on the trails, she will grab, these are her trucks. She has her own rigs.
4 whole trucks out of the whole picture, huh?
There's a row there. But they're hers, and she knows, you know, she spec'd them out. This is what I want, and that's what she got. And
Here's her one. That's what she gets.
yeah,
Yeah.
needs more. But yeah, she'll grab a truck. She'll go out on the trail, and I'll ask her, "Hey, you want me to come with you?" She's like, "Nope, I need my time."
Yeah.
And when we go out here locally, I mean, she might be a half mile ahead of me or a half mile behind me. We draw arrows in the dirt when we make a turn on the trail systems. Like she needs her time, and she respects me needing my time. And that includes these Monday nights. And, you know, and sometimes she's like, nope, not tonight. You're staying with me. And that's what it is.
That happens outside of a military family too, let me tell you.
Yeah.
So my wife's nickname with my side of the family is Switchblade Sam, or it's either Switchblade Sam or Quickblade Sam. She's a far superior hunter. She's far superior with a knife and a fishing rod than I am. And truth be told, she's far superior with a tiny truck too. For sure. Yeah.
Yes. And we'll say that's what we're here for. Rob Scale Rad, welcome, Rob, brother.
So just what time is it there, Javier? What do you have anything else on your topic list that you're trying to touch on, or can I jump into some good news for Operational Lone Charlie?
This is your show. We are 9:30.
Well,
we got 30 more. We got 30 more minutes. 30 more minutes. Yeah, 9:30 over here.
All right. Well, so Jake Kepler, if you want to introduce yourself, can you guys see Jake over here on the right side of he's on the right side of my screen.
Yes, we can.
So Jake, introduce yourself. However you see fit.
I'm Jake. I just came here about a year ago, and I started out driving just a stock box truck, and met these guys out at Red Rocks. And basically, from the minute I met up with them, they treated everybody like family. So tried getting into the clubhouse for a while, and finally was able to, and I never left.
We keep trying. We try. I keep trying him. I'll try harder. No. And what he means by that, when he says he kept trying to get in the clubhouse for a long time, the clubhouse was a money pit for us. And it was. I mean, that was intentional, right? It was a place for the team to be, a place for our parts, a place to drive, a place to be inside in the winter. And then
It was a place for us to hang out.
yeah, it was legitimately a clubhouse, you know. And we've since switched gears, but Jake's no joke. We met him at Red Rocks, and you know, earlier I made the comments about you don't know who somebody is till they're cornered. You don't know who they are unless, you know, when nobody's looking, you know, their character, their morals, and things like that. And then I made the comment about we've made mistakes in the past. We've made assumptions, or, you know, and that's why you guys go through your vetting process, right?
Yeah.
You want to make sure that actions and comments aren't going to be detrimental to your operation, right? And Jake is TGH family. I've seen him unpleased, be a nice way to put it. You know, the whole family friendly thing. I've seen him
Ecstatic.
I've seen him excited. and I've also challenged him, right? And don't take that the wrong way. When I challenged, Jacob test this, when we challenged each other, it was, Jake, I'm not asking you to change your ways, buddy. I'm just telling you, if you want to be part of this family, we have some very basic expectations, right? And you chew on that, right? And I'm open to hear your side of the story, because there's always two sides, right?
Yes.
And because you got to understand where somebody's head's at, right? Just like when you guys are betting guys, where's their heads at?
Yes.
You know? But Jake is TGH family, and we're one day we'll know what we're doing with team drivers and ambassadors, because we're trying to work that out, right? It's just like you get pulled 10 different directions, and it's a struggle to maintain, and most of us still have full-time jobs managing 2,600 square feet of inventory, yada yada yada, right? So that's one of that can attest to Jake, right? Jake's itching. He'd love to be. He wants to be. He puts in all the effort. But I can't just go out and make him a team driver, right? There's more to it than that. Just like you can't make somebody a member of Operation 11 Charlie. There's more to it, as much as you want to individually. But Steve Craig, who's on our chat list, Jake Kepford, Jason Zellers, Steve Craig and Jason Zellers are drivers for TGH. And that's kind of where we're at now, is we have drivers and we have family, right? But the four of them, John Rea out of Oklahoma City, I'm sure you've seen him on Facebook here and there, another exceptional dude. Them four guys went out to Crawlapalooza on their own accord to support the TGH, what I expressed earlier, and that's probably a good way to put it, as TGH mission, and that's to share the knowledge, the love, and give everybody the opportunity to ruin it for themselves. Don't ruin it for them, type of thing. And we found out about that, right? And so we decided we were going to help them with their trip, because they did it on their own accord. Even our own drivers didn't even ask the company to assist. Right? And so we helped them out, and then they wanted to take merchandise, and so we said, sure, out of Crawlapalooza, why not? No harm, no foul. You're responsible for what you take. Here's your packing slip. But we gave them a grace, is grace the right word? We gave them a cushion, right? This stuff added up to XYZ, and I don't care what you do with anything over this figure. I don't care what you do with it, right? And me and Mikey were having a conversation. This is before they ever left town. We said, this is a good test. It's not malicious. It's not a malicious test. I don't care what they do with it. If they take 10% over the $7,000 or $5,000 or whatever it is that they ended up selling, and they take that 10% and they decide to put it towards their trip, we gave them that option. There's no harm, no foul. I said, but we're really going to, figure out, let's just see what happens. So they come back, and Steve Craig and Jake and it sounds to me like Steve was telling me Jake played a big part on it. Jason and John were involved, but Steve and Jake really kind of put the legs to the dirt. They took that cush that they were given on their bottom dollar of product, and they did a raffle, and they generated $500 for Operation 11 Charlie.
Wow.
So that's what they decided to do for it, right? Is Operation 11 Charlie. So
thank you.
yeah, so that's why we wanted to make sure Steve couldn't be here tonight. He lives in Colorado Springs.
Yes.
We wanted to make sure Jake was here to represent that effort, and that's what they decided to do with their cush, man. God bless them.
Awesome.
So we've got a $500 spot coming to you guys, Javier. We've done. It's a lot like payday. I just call it money transfer day, right? It comes into my account, it goes out. So we're gonna now. Let me ask you this though. Anybody, and the people that like to donate to Operation 11 Charlie, listen closely. Javier, what is your preferred method of accepting funds? So let me preface this. I can write a check. I can send it friends and family. I can send it cost of goods. I can send it Venmo, Zelle, Pigeon. I can send it on Pigeon if you want. I don't care. Right?
I mean, I don't know anybody with carrier pigeons. So.
But I'll go rent one. It's coming off your dollar, but I'll go rent one.
You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised.
No,
I think he does horse and rider as well.
Charlie, how does Operation 11 Charlie support? How do they receive? What is your, regardless of how it happens, what is the preferred method of the organization?
Yes, yes, thank you. So that's why in every show we pin our website on top. If you see on the top of the chat, there is our website pinned to it, right? And when you scroll to the website, right on top, you will see donate, right? Donate or purchase, whatever. So anybody that wants that, right now we're doing the raffle on that sentence. You just go there, just make sure whatever you specify. Our vice president already linked, we had the PayPal link to it, right? And some people mail out their checks to us, right? They request for our PO box, and then they mail our checks and we deposit in the Operation 11 Charlie account, right? So either PayPal or some people mail the checks, you know, and we working towards on to having credit card, the Venmo, all that stuff. So give more options.
Do you guys need a lawyer?
We have one. We have one,
Okay,
but
good.
if you have one, we also, you know, yeah, the more that.
And then my next question is, and I'm thinking big picture here, right? Like, like I'm sure I without a doubt 999
Yes.
million% feel that the money that we're able to, that anybody provides, I don't care if it's
Yes.
50 cents or $1 million. When I go to your website and I click donate,
Yes.
what happens? Do I go to PayPal?
So this one,
Is it a form? And let me finish. And when I do that, am I required to put in my email? And then when I put in my email, do I get an auto-generated receipt from a nonprofit? Because I'm thinking we need to get Operation 11 Charlie out there to, like, you know, deep pockets, right? And those are some of the things that deep pockets are looking for.
yes, yes. So when, especially in this one, when you go right now, I'm double checking the website again, as they working on it right now. We have linked our PayPal, right? We it's linked to our PayPal, so you will receive the receipt from PayPal, all that stuff, right? And also for the people that donate to Operation 11 Charlie, right? We are 501c3 nonprofit, right? You reach out to us, you let us know, we send you that receipt, right? And you can do, or, you know, when it's time for your taxes, we are a tax exempt company, right? So that will help our guys too as well.
So that's kind of the point I was getting to, Javier, and we're not gonna solve this here.
Mhm.
I know that, you know, we go back to the room for everybody. There's room for everybody. Everybody's got a friend. There's networking to be done, right?
Yep.
If you know, I don't want you to expose to do, Steve Craig, you want to do that tonight? I don't I expect you guys to expose, you know, your ins and outs of, you know, the day-to-day operation. But if you guys need a programmer, we can look into that. Let's get that auto receipt. Let's get that receipt generated automatically, right? And what that does is whoever in your organization is answering those emails and generating those receipts, and then storing those copies, right, for your records. That's however long it takes, 30 seconds or 5 minutes per donation that they're spending that time doing that. That I assure you, there's a way to do that where it's automatic, right? Then,
Yep.
You know, when we're reaching out to our people to match us, right? We've got these documents already, right?
Yep.
We've got this platform, we've got this,
Yep.
you know, et cetera. So just food for thought, just thinking, you know, and so like for us, some of our best work is just shooting the jargon, and some of the ideas that come out of that are just phenomenal.
Oh, yeah,
Right?
definitely.
So we've got the 500 from Crawlapalooza. That what organization was that put that on? Was that Baskins and Greer? Yeah. So Baskins with RC PowerShift RC, and Tommy Greer, and whatever club or group they got. Those are the guys that put on Crawlapalooza, and that's where Jake and them boys went to represent TGH. I had nothing but good feedback from a lot of people they didn't know that were there, that I knew were there and were watching for me, because I'd eventually, like, just like I was saying, I'd like to hand that stuff off too, right? I just can't do it all. I mean,
Yeah.
Anybody watching ain't got an email response in the last 2 days? That's because me and Mike are trying to figure out how to streamline the emails, right? Like for the 12th time.
Hey,
Yeah.
we fixed the website, we broke the email.
Yeah, we fixed the website, broke the email. I don't know what to tell you. So, on top of that, TGH, we do, I won't say that we do it every year, but we try to monopolize on these, on the holidays. And Veterans Day, when I say it's a holiday, for me, it's a holiday, okay? It is, my daughter at 2.5 years old knows what Veterans Day is. She knows what Labor Day is. She knows what Memorial Day is. She knows the memorials in Golden. She knows, right? My daughter shakes a hand and says, yes, sir, no, sir, etc. Okay, so it's big for us as a family. So on Veterans Day, we did a sale. I don't even know what the sale is, irrelevant what the sale was, but it was from the 11th to the 13th. And we committed 5% of all revenue, not just the proceeds, of all revenue for any purchase. And we did like, it wasn't an exceptional weekend, right? Anybody that's in the market knows that free money killed us. So we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it wasn't an exceptional weekend. And we did like $5,700 in sales or something from the like 48 hours or whatever it ended up being. So that equated to $275 at 5%.
Wow.
And that's right off the bottom line, right? 5,700 in sales or 5,600 in sales. So 5% of that was 275. So there's $775 that TGH, as well as TGH family, our family would like to offer to Operation 11 Charlie. Like Javier said, this is the 3rd year strong. We've done something for Operation 11 Charlie, and I think we got something. Didn't we have an idea earlier? Hey, who's the cat at the bottom of on the far right as I'm looking at this screen?
Who's got the excavator?
Who's got the excavator, and who's the guy? Is that guy painting over there? What's he doing?
Sean, that's Sean. That's Sean. What I knew your rap and Scale Rat Roberts is one of our guys here in Florida.
Yeah, I got mad props to both you guys because multitasking and me do not work, bro.
Laser focused.
Yeah. Dude, I cannot wash dishes. Yes, I run my house right after I run the dishwasher and the vacuum.
After I get told what to do.
You know, but I cannot do that, and my wife knows better than to talk to me when I'm washing the dishes. I'm gonna go like, what? What'd you say?
Only half clean.
Yeah.
Throw it in the cupboard.
Yeah. So at any rate, we've got that for you, and then we've got some prototype chassis that are our V1 chassis or carbon fiber prototype. Ones upstairs that are all wrapped up. Up in the back room. In the back room. No, those ain't going no place.
You
The
said
ones-
C1. We have carbon fiber in C2.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Circus. So listen, we've got our V1 prototypes. We've got a like 40 of them or something that we've got here. There are some people that can attest to this. What I will tell you is that every mounting position is still present that's in the Sherpa, and this is more for the viewers than the guys that are on the show with us. How much time we got here? We got 15 minutes, right?
Yeah,
Jay?
yeah.
All right. So where are those at? Are they upstairs?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go grab, I don't know, grab
Sure. I'll grab one.
yeah, grab as many as you want to try to drum up some funds for these guys for. So this prototype chassis is a somewhere around here. It's so prototype that there's only a handful of them that are actually built. But we've been working on it for about 9 months now. And it's just a reduced profile is all it is to minimize those hangups. And so we've got a handful of carbon fiber ones that let's just start a raffle real quick, Javier. Let's do $40 a set plus shipping, right? And Operation Left Charlie can have all the proceeds minus the shipping. So let's just include the shipping in it. Let's call it $50 a set. And Mike can get them down here, and I'll talk about them.
Got you, bro. That's awesome.
And if they don't move, then they don't move. But it's something.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, bucks in the back of the car. I can run out and get it.
Here, let me go get it because you don't want to leave me.
It'll be in the halfway. So basically what we did is, remember I was telling you guys earlier that we developed a skid, and the skid kind of matches the belly profile. Look at that excavator. My daughter would be like, excavator. No, so there you go. How many's in this Raptor? So super small profile, right? So these two bolt holes here, your standard 30 whatever it is millimeter 10.2 bolt pattern. So that's the extent of your belly. Rake it at 7 degrees. You've got forward motor mount holes. You've got body mount, shock mount. So all the holes are present. Bumper mounts, chassis brace mount, and let's just call it $50 a set. And $40 of those proceeds will go to Operation 11 Charlie.
Awesome, man.
Sound good? So if anybody speaks up in the next 15 minutes, we got enough to go around. You got me, Jake? I'll show you what it looks like built here. So
Yes.
we're not running sliders on this rig here.
Oh, that's nice, man.
So straight, smooth transition. Very minimalistic, if you will, right? In this particular setup, you'll notice that the motor is forward of the forward motor mount. So anybody that might pick one of these up, if you're interested in doing that, you can email Chris at Team Garage Hack and let us know that you supported Operation 11 Charlie. And we could probably get you set up with the shaft that in collaboration with Scott Green and Jody Morrow, right? Jody Morrow, scrub carpet driver, right? Enough room for everybody. You guys following me? Enough room for everybody. Come to me with this idea for our Ford motor mount 2 years ago. And we've yet to take it to market because we want it to be right.
Yeah.
But when it does, it'll be the Jody Morrow conversion.
Yeah.
Because that's the guy that I did the design work, obviously, but that's the guy that presented the idea. And
So,
so we're gonna
Chris,
get credit where it's due. Yeah, go ahead.
we're here on the chat. We got bracing scale where you wanted to send it to. Yeah, we have a couple of guys, B Rec, Tony. Also, how are we paying for this?
All right, so we've got the basics of what it is, right? And we got 10 minutes to work it out. So here's what we're gonna do. Javier, what is easiest for you, pal? We're gonna do this. Let's set this precedence right now, just so from an administrative perspective, it's not a nightmare for Javier and myself or your secretary, right?
Or my secretary.
Or your secretary, Mike, right? Mike's the pharmacist. He's in charge of distribution. So AKA the pharmacist. He doesn't know yet, but me and Bryson, our business manager, just come up with that. At any rate, when this video ends, this opportunity is over. Okay, $50 a set of rails. That includes shipping. You PayPal that $50 to to Operation 11 Charlie.
Okay.
In the link. And Javier, instead of paying fees and things like that, let's give it a day or so, and you and I will work out the difference.
Got you.
Shipping, right? Follow
Sounds
me?
good. Sounds good.
Right.
Sounds good. So
Yep.
I'm gonna post, guys, on the chat. We're gonna post the PayPal for that, and make sure, guys, when you do that is for the chassis, right, guys? Because we have the other raffle going on, right? So make sure that it is for the TGH chassis, guys. So awesome.
V1 Proto, whatever you want to call it. Just make sure Javier knows the chassis. Javier,
Yes, sir.
for every one of those you receive, all he needs to count, and we'll make it very simple. We'll call it $10 in shipping for each one of them.
Got you.
Now, anybody that's interested in supporting Operation 11 Charlie and picking up one of these chassis that we've been beating the hell out of for well over a year, you might have seen these chassis. Well, you wouldn't have seen them, but they were certainly on the top 5 at any of the major events around the country this last year. By any TGH driver, this is the chassis they were running in Class 2, Class 3. But the Vader Monkey Narrow skid, or the soon-to-be-released TGH Bullnose skid will both fit in this. The other option is a monkey skid with the bat wings cut off the back. That makes sense? Those of you that are in the stream, you guys understand what I'm talking about. You've got a monkey skid with it's kind of got the bat wing on the back, right? You could bolt it up, draw a line, cut it with a bandsaw or what have you, or you could use a monkey narrow, or next week there'll be a TGH bullnose skid. And those will work great with this. Yeah, so the Vader monkey skid, you're just gonna cut it's basically this tab right here, you're just gonna cut.
Nice, nice. Right now, we got one that came in. One came in from Joshua. Yeah, we have one that came in, brother.
So Joshua, Javier, when these guys, are they sending out friends and family? How are they doing that, pal?
I hope now everything's changed. Everything's changed for
Well,
us.
the only reason I ask is because
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter on either front,
Yeah.
yours or mine.
Yeah.
Any of these people that are supporting the Operation 11 Charlie by way of a TGH purchase tonight of one of these chassis, it's going to be imperative that you have an account on the TGH website, right, with your address, so that we can track that, right, for both Operation 11 Charlie and shipping. Okay.
Or you need to make a quick order for like $1. That way we have all of your shipping info correct.
Yeah, we've been playing battles with that lately.
Yeah, and the ones that we received, we have addresses on the paper, so I could screen.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and don't be afraid, guys. Anybody,
Yeah.
I mean, unless you think you need this tomorrow for a comp Saturday, which we see all the time. And we try to accommodate it as much as we can. We really do. It's not always the case, but you know, we'll reach out to you if you sent something via PayPal, then to Javier, then he's got your email and he can share that with us, and we can get it to you. So it's we're not really worried about it. The goal here is this isn't something to stress out about. This is something to support the cause. See,
Nice.
there's
Nice.
a significant difference here.
Yeah.
And it makes a difference. Bryce will not allow me to sell my comp rig because he don't want to drive. He don't want to compete against it with somebody that can actually drive.
Later, Dennis. Yeah, we received now. We got 2 chassis that came in. Yeah, awesome, guys. And I think the third one as well. Yeah, we have 3 chassis. 3 chassis that came in. Yep. And all 3 of them, we addresses. Good, good. Thank you, guys. Good looking out, Tony. Awesome,
So
awesome.
as you know, this is just a little something extra. This has not been available to the market. John Ray they just had a spontaneous event out there in Oklahoma City. He got one of these 2 weeks ago. He built it with the Ford motor shaft that I was showing you earlier. He took the first spot by quite the margin, and I mean, it's just the way of the chassis world, right? A lot of people are going to be going there. That's fine. You know, we don't buy hundreds and we don't cut hundreds of chassis because that's not our forte, right?
Mhm.
We cut enough to support our team and make them available. I can't make 10 chassis available. I gotta at least buy 100, right? You know, and make it available for the website. But these have been sitting on the shelf and we've been just building. Oh yeah, so if anybody knows the Ford motor mount, you'll notice that this shaft has no threads. Is my camera that bad?
Wow.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, we got you, brother.
So that just basically what that does is
3 minutes.
3 minutes. 3 minutes. Javier, I'm gonna let you close out. It puts the motor ahead of the Ford motor mount next to an offset. So I've got a stubby revolver in there, but there's enough room for a 500 can.
Awesome, awesome. We have another one that came in, Podium Power Sports. They want a chassis and they sent extra for a donation. Says
Podium Power Sports.
yeah,
That
TGH
is Brett
chassis.
Bennett. That is Brett Bennett with Brazen Scale RC.
Oh my goodness, awesome, awesome. He said a TGH chassis and a donation to Operation 11 Charlie, brother. Thank you so much. And they have a question here, Chris. Can that
No, the gears didn't ship.
can that chassis be run with a standard center motor?
Absolutely. With the Tulo, absolutely. You know, just the same challenges that the masses face, and that's a correct orientation, right? It goes back to that plan your build, think your build through, right? Nothing changed on the top of the belly. Whoever asked the question, it was just the underside.
Okay.
We can send it with a jig. I got a jig made,
Oh, I know,
but yeah. So we'll just send it for that shaft.
for both, yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, so it'll work with your standard motor cans, just like any the Sherpas would, or the Brazens would, or the Corrupts would, Exos, G-Speed, Zukis, et cetera, right? It's just all about placement. It's all about tuning. That being said, we'll let you close it out, Javier.
Awesome. Jason Edwards just sent another one. That's awesome, guys. So we have here, we have here.
Don't stress. Don't waste your time on it now, Javier. We'll work it out.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Jason, man, thank you so much, everyone.
And we love Operation 11 Charlie. We love the community. We love what you guys are doing. We just, you know, we're right there with Op 11. We want it to keep positive. We want people to think big. We want people to collaborate. We want people to share their knowledge. Be respectful.
Amen, brother. Amen, guys. So with that note, we want to be grateful to Team Garage Hack, all the boys, and then we're gonna start saying our goodbyes. But before that, I think Nathan is busy. So if I'm not mistaken, next Monday, right, we'll have the USDE All-Stars. So we're gonna have Rob Matthews and a bunch of the guys from USDE, right? So we're looking forward to another special Monday here. So again, so we're looking forward to that. Thank you, Jake. We got 67 days, this guy. Oh,
Jake, enough.
Enough, Jake. So we are very grateful, everybody that always support Operation 11 Charlie. Guys, you don't know how much. Again, we have a list for veterans that we are planning to take to USDE. And with all this stuff that's going on, like the work that Team Garage Hack did today, some other all the raffles, right? We're gonna kill down that list of 30 veterans that we have so far, so we can take them to USD. All that stuff, we'll take those guys to an event like USD, and they love that, being around the RC community. All the family, right? So it's just incredible. All you guys did today, it goes towards that, guys. Go towards that. And also we have all the raffle open, right, for the Sentin. Thank you, Adam. We got that raffle open. We're gonna be posting on social media sometime tomorrow. We had that post with the link and everything. How many spots? Jake, how many spots we got so far?
We got 32 left.
32 spots left, guys. There are $7 a spot. $7 a spot for that Sentin 4x4 550 mega, a brush edition. Thanks to Adam's Playground for that donation, guys. So that raffle is going to be open until we close it down. So hopefully we do that before next Monday's show, right? When we do the USD altar. If that's the case, then we do a live. We'll spin the wheel live next Monday. I know Jake is going to be happy with that. So anything else that I forgot to mention? I think we got everything, right? Tom Major, cool. Rob, right? I want to say something to our guys here. Our Florida chapter, we already have the dates out for our next meeting, right? In January, I believe it's the 14th. We have a private location that we're going to have our veterans, Cuttons, RC Park. So that's gonna be the location. So it's some of our veterans from the Florida area, right? That for that special outing, reach out to me, guys. So we're looking forward. That will be our first meeting for the beginning of the year, guys. So yes. What else? I think that's it. So we're gonna start saying our goodbyes. We'll start with Jake.
Well, thanks for having me. I know I've been sort of in and out, but I'm back again. And we'll see everyone next Monday.
Yes, next Monday. Looking forward to
Following
that.
Monday, but not here.
Yeah, next Monday, right? The next Monday is probably next Monday. Don't quote me on that. I think it's the last show of the year for us.
I think so.
I think it's the last show of the year. So it's
Unless your year long runs longer than the rest.
right. So it's
It
gonna
feels
be
that way.
it's gonna be a good one. So Robert.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? All right. Thank you, everybody that joined the chat. Again, you guys is what, helps us spread the word. You guys joining every Monday. I'm seeing a lot of familiar names and everything. It's a nice sticker.
Yeah.
Are those the ones I made?
Do we have an account? If we don't, we could sure set one up.
All right. Yeah, let's do it. I made them for Super Shafty. So.
Oh yeah, they are. That was my art. That was my artwork. Absolutely, yeah. AJ said, dude, can I make those myself instead of waiting for your slow self? And I'm like, I sent you the artwork.
All right. So he sent it to me. So
Awesome.
Right
Let's
on.
hook up.
But again, thank you everybody that's in the chat. Thank you everybody that's on the panel right now. You guys are all amazing. Everything that you do, outreaching to current vets, and I'm excited about reaching out to new vets. I'm excited next month for that first meeting. I'm going to be present there, and I can't wait to see the crew. I'm super pumped, super stoked. TGH, you guys are amazing. I run a lot of your products and a lot of my rigs, so kudos and thank you for what you guys are doing to help us raise money for our future veterans, to get them out, to get them peace of mind, and a lot of love to you
Appreciate
guys.
your support, and we've said it before. You're not just supporting TGH, you're supporting the cause.
That's facts.
Well,
And it's not, it's not just Op11. It's a lot of things, right? I mean,
cool. Yep.
when the
Definitely.
lady at Wendy's asked me why I bought 40 cheeseburgers and I told her to feed people, she was like, "Do what?"
Yeah. Yeah.
They were pissed, by the way. They were not happy.
Sean.
Everybody in the chat, thank you very much. Week in, week out, the amount of support you show Operation 11 Charlie. It wouldn't be possible without you guys in the raffle, spreading the word, doing everything. So thank you very much, guys. We really appreciate it. And Javier, as usual, thank you for making me a part of it, brother.
Thank you, Sean, for being a part of what we do, bro. Thank you so much. And look at that. I just put you in the spotlight because this is what is that, bro? That is
this. I'm actually putting it together. It's RC Jesus' fault. That's why.
so Nick
After
Barber.
Yeah,
Has anybody
after
ever told
beating
you
the
your
creek,
action
yeah.
is extremely handsome?
After
He
Peter
sent you
Creek,
one
he let
too?
me drive his excavator, and that was it. Now I have a dozer, excavator. So I give it.
Hey,
It's all
what was
his
your
fault.
name? What was your name, sir?
Sean.
What's
Sean.
that?
Sean, what? I would like to connect with you. How much experience do you have with this heavy equipment stuff?
Some not too much. So RC Jesus would be a guy to hook up with. If you had
Okay.
any real
All right.
questions about them, he'd be the dude to hook up.
Yeah, Nick Barber.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Nick Barber. He's actually in the chat.
Nick Barber's the rock bouncer guy, right?
Nick. No.
He's got tons of the construction stuff, the
Yes.
RC construction stuff.
He has a hobby shop here in the Orlando area, Florida. Yeah. Remote
Nick
control.
Barber.
Yeah, remote control hobbies in Orlando. That is his hobby shop.
Yeah,
Nick
if you just
Barber.
look him up under RC Jesus.
Yep.
There
Definitely.
might be a need for that where I work. That just. And then me and Mikey were like looking at that truck, that tow truck.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
So RC Jesus is responsible for that for you. And I just wanted your last name so we could tell our wives who you were.
Blame, who to blame, who to blame?
Yeah.
You know how this works. We'll just keep passing the blame around and we'll be
Yeah,
fine.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Awesome, Sean. Awesome, Sean. So let me
Oh,
see
nice
here.
idea.
Sergeant Major.
Yeah, thanks everybody for sitting through this evening again with us. Super appreciate it. Just remember, the guys at TGH, they went to Crawlpalooza, they made a decision. That decision has an outcome, and that outcome is one of our veterans goes to USTE.
Is that what it takes? What's it take, Jeremy, to get it back to UT?
USTE is February 17 to 19, 2023.
Ultimate Scale Truck Expo, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And
So getting a veteran there and you know that dollar amount, you know, it's meant to be. And that is how this world works. You know,
Let's
good
make sure we
karma.
give a shout out to the 4 guys that made that decision. And it wasn't TGH, although it may have been, you know, ultimately our choice to be friends with these people.
yes,
And we probably wouldn't admit that if they were standing here, but
Yeah.
Steve Craig, right? Jake Kepford, John Rea, and Jason Zellers.
yes,
Those are the 4 guys that decided that's what they were going to do.
yes.
So, and I wish I had the name of the individual that won the raffle.
I have it on my phone somewhere in a video, so I'll have to go back through.
Okay.
But you know, those small decisions make a difference. And that small decision, if you're sitting on your couch right now, get up, get on your feet, go out and RC.
Yes.
Thanks everybody.
Well said, John. I mean, well,
That's a t-shirt. I'm making a t-shirt.
go ahead, Josh.
Thanks for having me on the panel again. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Looking at the chat, looks like I got some plans to make.
Yeah.
Thanks to our guests. You know, it's great to see, you know, people, the hobby shops and people who are manufacturing this stuff actually care on how their equipment's used and is willing to take the time and effort to not just sell a product, but to like making sure that the people, their customers are getting the most out of their product.
Yes.
You know, that means a lot.
Yeah.
Especially to people just starting out, you know.
It's overwhelming. It is overwhelming.
Yes. Yes. Well,
So what kind of plans you got to make, Josh? You going to UT then?
Yeah, I plan on making the drive, Michigan to Florida, but I'll be there come hell or high water.
Yes.
God, it sounds like a lot of high water.
Just a lot of.
If you hit the high water, you went too far.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll remember that.
So
All
now,
right, Javier, you're up. Who are you?
no, it's your guys.
What about Jake? Did we hear from Jake?
Yeah, he was the first one.
All right. My next truck's going to be called Sidetrack.
Again, guys, thank you for being here with us and for what you do, right? And just always trying to keep it positive, right? And helping the community out, all that knowledge, spreading that knowledge, it means a lot to us. It's kind of like saying that what we do here in Operation 11 Charlie, when we do induction ceremonies, right? And just not doing that, right? Those are tools, right? Our main focus are the veterans and stay connected with them, right? That's why we do classes. That's what Sergeant Major do class. When you know about USDE, right? Sergeant Major going to be doing some class and make sure trail etiquette, all that stuff, right there for our Operation 11 Charlie guys. Any help that they need, right? That's what we always here for our guys here. That's our main focus, man. So we cannot stress it enough. Any information, guys, our website is linked to the top, right? Make sure to reach out to us for any questions. Our veterans that are reaching out to us through the emails, be patient with us, guys. Be patient with us. It's only a few of us. All these guys that have the daily jobs, right? And then they keep working hard for Operation 11 Charlie, guys. So just be patient with us. Our veterans is one veteran at a time. And we're working towards that year when we'll have chapters in all states, guys. So be patient with us, right? So I think that's it. Anything else that we forgot to mention? Chris, you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, that goes without being asked, don't it?
Oh,
I mean, you should know by now.
Talk?
Yeah, I mean, if your wife just like does this all the time, when you come on, I got you covered. You and Sam, my wife, can go drive tiny trucks in silence, and we'll just yak the jaw, right? No, you know, there was some good stuff that you said there, and that's be patient. Let things do their job. Stay positive. Yeah, I really don't. I really don't have anything more than that, other than I appreciate the kind words, Josh Short, and Javier. We have some back work to do now.
Yeah.
We need to make sure and get you guys set up. So you got I'd like to know. We got some back work to do. I'd like to give you my thoughts and ideas, and you can take it to your board or your group and decide what works best, and you know, we'll move forward from there. But Operation 11 Charlie's got a spot in this house. They got a spot in my house.
Thank you, brother. Means a lot. Means a lot.
Let's get something going to where it's not just once a year.
Thank you, brother. Chris, stay here, guys, so we can say a proper goodbye after we end the live.
Hey, let's thank our viewers, right? Those that participated.
Yes.
Right. Those that participated in buying a chassis. I mean, I bet half those guys are like, TGH don't make chassis, but we'll buy one to support Operation 11 Charlie. Right.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, definitely. Everybody in the chat, everybody that support, that was part of getting those chassis, that were part of getting those raffles, right? We cannot thank you guys enough. Stay tuned for next Monday, USD All-Stars. Looking forward to that. It will be the last show of the year. And looking forward to have fun, guys. Just be safe out there, guys. Check us on social media, Operation 11 Charlie Inc., all over the place, and O11C.org, O11C.org, our website, guys. Just be safe out there. See you next Monday. Peace.